Chime in on Twitter at Matt Ray Talk, and of course you can follow the show on the KGO Facebook page as well. I'm very excited right now. Do you manage your digital footprints on social media? 20-year-old college business student Jesse Stauffer joins us to discuss the Xpire app. Jesse, thanks for joining us. You have an amazing story here, first of all.
Hey, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah. Tell us, first of all, we'll get into the Xpire app and why people need to really manage their digital footprints on social media. But first, give us some background information about your story and how you came to get Mark Cuban as your business partner.
Yeah, so I'm a 20-year-old computer science major at the University of North Texas, which is in a suburb of Dallas. And last year, I started working on this iPhone app with my brother, Casey. And the app was called Bitsy, and basically it was a way where you could post self-destructing photos and text, and we created basically our own social network at the time, and I just randomly had a thought, so why not reach out to Mark Cuban? I saw that he was a huge player in the tech industry and also a very big user of social media, so I kind of thought that he could have some cool ideas, and I just shot him a cold email out of nowhere and never really thought much of it, thought I probably wouldn't hear back from him, but I think it was within 24 hours I had a response from him giving us some tips and pointers on like the app that we were making at the time, as well as like some monetization strategies. And a couple conversations later, we got talking about impermanent social networking, and we started a business.
Wow. Now, I know Mark Cuban's big into this deleting texts, deleting emails, getting rid of your history, mainly because of, not only the fact that it sticks with you, but the government is swooping up a lot of information, too. Were you aware of his interest in that field when you were developing the app, or when you were developing the social media site, I should say?
I wasn't too aware of it. I knew that over last summer he had a run with the SEC, where they kind of took all of his online social networking posts, emails, and text messages and kind of used them against him, took stuff way out of context. And actually at the time he was developing his app called Cyberdust, which allows you to send expiring text messages. And I really didn't even know that at the time, so I guess it was just kind of good timing that I emailed him in, and he just kind of, I guess, sparked his interest because he was interested in the privacy field at that time.
What was your thinking in developing this social media site, in getting rid of your online history?
Well, I'm a college student, so I've had many professors and older people always tell us that pretty soon we're going to be entering the world of employment, and we really need to watch out for the stuff that we put on our social networking profiles with services such as like Twitter and Facebook, and how, some of the things you put out there could come back to haunt you in the future. And though I never really was the type that would put out crazy things, I knew a lot of people who were, and, I kind of just sit there and shake my head knowing that it could hurt them in the end. Sure. And so I decided to create a tool that would help them overcome this.
Pretty amazing. What did you think when Cuban replied to you? I mean, I would think you were out of your mind.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was actually sitting in my history class at UNT, and I remember just getting up and leaving because I wanted to read it. And, yeah, it was pretty crazy.
You're already thinking about dropping out of school, huh?
I mean, I'd like to, but, I'm still going with it, just see how it goes. If it ever gets too crazy with everything going on, I may have to make a decision in the end.
Yeah. Well, where is the business now? I mean, how is Cuban involved in the business? How are you involved in the business, and at what point is it at?
Yeah, so Mark and I really co-created this, so Mark's been there since day one. He's seen it grow from just a little prototype I built in my bedroom over winter break to, the app that it is today. And he's really involved with suggesting features, lots of creative input, and kind of guiding us in the right direction. And I myself am I'm the lead developer on the project, so I do a lot of codings. We're constantly putting out updates, so I'm really busy with that. And then I also have some of the customer support side of things, so where someone has a problem, they email me and I write them back and help them get stuff fixed, as well as taking user suggestions. And, at this point right now, we've pretty much, we've got the basics of the app how we want it. We still have a whole lot more we'd like to do. We've got a bunch of plans for the future, as well as spreading out to a lot of platforms and integrating with more services. So we're pretty excited about that.
But I have to ask, Jesse, we're speaking with Jesse Stauffer. He is, I would say you're the creator of the Xpire app, right? I mean, you are the creator.
That's right.
Yeah. 20-year-old college student, also business partner with Mark Cuban. Jesse, I have to ask, it's an amazing story. We all know Mark Cuban from, obviously, the Dallas Mavericks, and one of my favorite shows is Shark Tank. It's no secret. But what are your parents? I mean, if you're close to your parents, if you have a relationship with your parents, what are they thinking right now?
Oh yeah, I'm very close to my parents. Actually, part of the reason I can do all this is because they're supporting me right now through college. I'm actually a commuter student, so I live at home with them, and they're just along with me for the ride, and they think it's really cool, and they're very supportive.
And are they asking you to have him over for dinner or anything?
Not yet, but...
Our guest is Jesse Stauffer with the Xpire app. Jesse, I want to get into some of the details of the app, if we could. Obviously, you told us it started out as social media. Now it's kind of morphed into the app. And what are some of the qualities of the app?
Sure. So we have three main features. And our first feature is that we allow you to share expiring Facebook posts as well as tweets. So basically, you can just go in there like you'd normally post a Facebook post or tweet, and you can just type it out. You can choose to add a photo if you'd like. And then we allow you to choose a time limit ranging from 1 minute to forever. And the second that timer's up, we'll go out there automatically and delete your Facebook posts, the tweet, the likes, comments, favorites, retweets, all of that. So it's kind of swept under the rug and doesn't really follow you for the rest of your life.
Very cool.
And then we also have a way to go back and manage your past tweets. So maybe there's something you said a year ago that you kind of regret saying today.
Jesse, hold on there. I want to. Let's leave it on that. I want to get you to hold on through the break here because I need some information on that. I'm huge. I use too much Twitter. All right. Our guest is Jesse Stauffer with the Xpire app. KGO News Time is 12:45. The place to turn for traffic at 15 and 45. Jim Bartos standing by at the KGO traffic desk, taking your calls at 80-8810, and that song was for Jesse Stauffer, who is a young college student but also an entrepreneur, and he's teamed up with Mark Cuban to launch the mobile application that helps users manage their digital footprints on social media. Jesse, the founder of the Xpire app. Jesse, before we went to break, you were talking about how it does delete your digital footprints and how it can go back on Twitter. Did you, if I heard you correctly, you said like a year, didn't you?
Yeah, we actually can fetch up to the last 3,200 tweets you put out. So it's kind of different for everyone depending on how active you are on Twitter.
Sure.
But basically, you can go back through and you can see all your tweets that you put out. You can select them. You can delete all of them, or you can delete certain ones that you'd like to delete and keep others. And then we also allow you to perform a keyword search on your tweets. So you can pull up all your tweets that contain a certain word, and you can delete all those as well.
So if they are deleted, I mean, what about like a Google search? If I did a Google search, would a link still come up and then it would say that's been deleted, or is the search erased as well?
The search may stay in our system for a little bit, but it should be erased after a couple of days. But even when it is in the system, the second you would click on it, it would take you to a Twitter, like, tweet not found page or Facebook page not found.
So, I mean, why do people need Xpire? We know about our digital footprints and everything, but let's say, you talked about your experience as a college student and all the professors saying you're going to have to get a job someday. Talk about, we have all heard the stories about people getting fired for stuff they post on Facebook, their personal Facebook pages. Why would somebody in their, let's say, late 30s, mid 40s need something like Xpire?
Yeah, so since the creation of social networking, most of us have been fully documenting our lives on services such as Facebook and Twitter. And I mean, we're telling these things, information such as where we go, the things we like, and even the music we listen to. And I mean, this collection of data can be available to the public, which is kind of scary. And I mean, so you have the whole side that I was talking about earlier about applying for jobs. You also have the side you mentioned where, people could get fired from jobs for, posting inappropriate things on their social networking profiles, or even like leaking company secrets. I mean, there's also a whole separate use case for this where it's just a way to clean stuff up and just to kind of whittle down the meaningless stuff. So, for instance, say, you're going to the grocery store and you send out a tweet today that says, hey, I'm going to the grocery store. It's like, that thing, okay, I mean, I guess it's all right in the moment, but, a year from now, nobody's going to care that you went to the grocery store a year ago. So we're kind of there to just, kind of cut out the menial information and only really highlight the important stuff in your life.
And so, but you're saying we have the choice. You mentioned it will list a number of tweets. We have the choice of what we want deleted.
Yeah. So we have an option where you can delete all of your tweets at once if you want a fresh start, or you can just go back through and delete certain ones.
Okay. And it goes away for good? I mean, completely?
We're using Twitter and Facebook's APIs, which are basically just ways for developers to access their information, and we're doing it right through Twitter and Facebook. So, I mean, we're basically going right through those services, so what they delete, we delete.
Okay, I gotcha. What platforms is it available on?
Right now, we're on iOS only, and we integrate with Facebook and Twitter. However, we're looking to expand to, of course, Android, Windows Phone, and a couple other mobile phone platforms, as well as integrating with more social networks. You can really get more of a control over your data across all of the internet.
We're speaking with Jesse Stauffer with the Xpire app. He's also Mark Cuban's business partner. Jesse, your story, first of all, the app is amazing. Your story is amazing.
Thank you very much.
Where do you go from here? 20 years old, an entrepreneur who's got a business partner in Mark Cuban, who's got an app, who had the wherewithal, the foresight to develop something like this. Where do you go from here? Are you going to continue to, do you want to stick with this business? Are you going to build other apps? I mean, where do you go from here?
Definitely. I'd love to stick with Xpire and just grow it as long as possible. We've only covered a small fraction of what we want to do with it. And in the end, we'd like to be the way to control all of your content across the entire internet. So, I mean, we've got big plans for the future, and as I said, expanding to more services and platforms.
I have to ask you a question, because you mentioned you're in college. You mentioned you're a computer. Did you mention computer major or business major?
It's computer science major.
Computer science. So when did you do all of the coding to develop this? If you're in school right now.
Well, I started my first app, Bitsy, I mentioned, with my brother over last summer, and we completed it towards the end of summer, and that's when we pitched it to Mark. And then, basically, like I said, we talked about creating Xpire, and I actually did all the work over winter break. So the second class got out, I was working 16 to 20 hours a day coding on this while my entire family's asleep, and I was tiptoeing around the house writing code.
Did they ever ask what you were doing? Did they ever? Did anybody ever say, "What the hell are you doing? Go to bed"?
My mom was always worried about stuff like that, but she understood.
Right. So now, the future's bright for you, Jesse. Do you have a girlfriend?
I don't at the moment.
Do you have any requests?
Hey, I'm always looking, I guess.
Jesse Stauffer, the app is Xpire. It's available on iOS, soon to be on Android as well, I guess, right?
That's correct.
All right, where can our listeners find more information?
You can go to www.getxpire.com. That's GETXPIRE.com, and you can learn more about the app. You can contact us if you have any questions or need any help using it, and we're always open to suggestions as well.
Yeah, Jesse, we're in San Francisco. One last question here. Any plans to move the company to San Francisco?
Hey, I've never actually been out to San Francisco. I've heard great things. It's obviously the birthplace of many successful companies, but I guess we'll just have to see what happens in the future.
Yeah, you got to come out and check out the sentiment for big tech companies out here.
Yeah, I'd love to.
I'll leave it at that. Jesse Stauffer, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you very much for having me.
Matt Ray, KGO Radio 810. Still a couple of minutes. We can take some calls. 415-808-0810 is the number. 80-8810. That is just, I love stories like that. I love stories. I look at myself when I was in college. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I had several different majors. At one point, I was going to go into business, a lot of things. And I settled on communications. But I never thought that maybe I could change the world with back then we didn't have apps, but maybe I could change the world with a product. I never thought about that. This is just an amazing, amazing story. And to get Mark Cuban, if you watch Shark Tank, he's the biggest shark. If you watch the behind the scenes, he doesn't have the education that the other sharks do. He is the smartest of the sharks. They'll all tell you that. If you watch the behind the scenes episodes, they'll all tell you Mark Cuban is the smartest of the sharks, and he sees things in people. So for him, he sees good qualities in people. He sees the entrepreneurial spirit in people. So for him to, email this 20-year-old college student back within 24 hours and say, yeah, let's do it. If you can build something, I'm in. That's an amazing story. Just Google Xpire. Just an amazing story. And this kid, I mean, think back when you were in college. You're living at home, walking around, building something, and your mom's saying, "Go to bed, go to bed. Aren't you tired?" "Nah, Mom, I'm developing this app so I can get Mark Cuban on board so I can build a business." The future is bright for Jesse, and ladies out there, he's single. So there you go. If you're looking to hook up with an entrepreneur who's going to be rich, I guarantee it. Go ahead and look up Jesse Stauffer. Matt Ray, KGO Radio 810. Don't forget, you can follow the show on Twitter at Matt Ray Talk. We communicate that way while we're off the air, and you can